Welcome to the Collector's Cast, everybody. Hey, I'm Clint the Collector. With me, as always, is my good friend Mike Bloski.
Hi, everyone.
And we're here to talk about collecting the creepy stuff today. The macabre. Yeah. The stuff that makes you go, what the heck are you doing with that?
Yeah, well, as luck would have it, just happens to be the guy with some of the creepiest stuff around is my brother.
Ah, what do you know? What do you know? Another collector in the family.
Another collector in the family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, without wasting too much time, for those listening only on audio, we've got a goat skull on the table, and we've got a very creepy-looking clown sitting next to Mike on the couch. But that's just to get us in a creepy mood. But what we're really going to do is get Jeff's or Mike's creepy brother, Jeff. Well, he's not necessarily creepy himself, or is he?
But yeah, he's you wouldn't listen if you met him, you wouldn't expect that this guy has the creepy collection that he has.
Well, there you go. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go to a quick little break, and we're going to come right back with Jeff Bloski and talk about collecting creepy. And we're back on the Collector's Cast, and boy, do we have a special guest today.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, he looks a little familiar to me, Mike.
Yeah,
why is that?
He's got the Bloski traits there.
The Bloski, and we're not just talking about his love of creepiness either.
No.
But Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hey, good to have you. Just so our listeners know, it's my younger brother, Jeff Bloski, joining us from Saskatoon. And he's got he collects all kinds of stuff, but his forte, as I would say, is
the macabre, the creepy, the strange,
the strange. Yeah.
What do you say? Is it the creepier the better, or what makes you go for things?
Well, I don't know. You know what? It started off, just to give a little bit of history, it started off as just kind of a way to keep the kids out of the spare bedroom sort of thing. So had a few old dolls kicking around from the past, and I ran into a few things at the thrift store, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try setting these in the spare room and see if the kids will go in there. So I had one or two, and then I'd set them in there, and then kids would kind of poke their heads in, and nobody ever actually went into the room. Heads would just kind of poke in and look around, and I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. So I kind of started not necessarily what I thought was, overly scary, but just odd stuff that I had never really seen before, just like a peculiar face or a pose or something like that. And
for the listeners only that don't have that aren't on YouTube, there is a very odd and creepy looking character behind you there in the hat with the what is that guy? Does he have a name?
Well, I don't know if that guy has a name. They're just now. Are you talking about the?
I'm talking about the mannequin or whatever it is behind you with the big tall guy with the hat.
Yeah, that's Jeeves.
Jeeves.
That's Jeeves. Yeah.
So he's your own creepy butler or what?
Well, came across Jeeves at an auction. A fella had passed away, and this was his.
It sold his own body, because I think that's him. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Lifelong possessions.
Yeah.
Jeeves actually lights up.
Wow.
His eyes glow, and he makes some noise. He's been left out for a few Halloweens, so he needs some work on the wiring. But yeah, he goes by the name of Jeeves. He stands about 5'10".
Cool.
And yeah, he's
you know who'd like him would be our guy we had on our Halloween episode, Gary, the guy with the haunted farm. Oh, yeah. He would love Jeeves.
Yeah, he would love.
But he'll have to keep his hands off, because that's Jeff's.
But so
yeah, Jeeves has had I've had a cowboy hat on him. I've had a pirate hat on him. I think he even had a hockey helmet on.
Ooh.
So.
Well, hockey masks are definitely been known to be scary in the past.
Well, just off the subject of creepy, that's another thing you collect a lot of, though, too, don't you, Jeff? Goalie masks.
I do, yeah. And that was something I got into, from Mike being my older brother and being a goalie, and
you yourself are a goalie too.
Yeah. So watching Mike play hockey, and then growing up, of course, always idolize your older brothers, and over the years, some of the different masks Mike got, and then the guys that I idolized in the NHL, and then next thing you know, I'm old enough to wear a goalie mask, and I had a couple of cool different designs, and then now I've just every time I come across a goalie mask, doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a favorite team or anything, but even if it's just kind of a little bit of an odd looking mask or something that's maybe what I call a little bit creepy looking, I've got to have it.
So it's kind of almost a double. It's kind of almost a double a bonus collection thing, because you collect hockey masks and creepy, so put them together, and it's sort of a 2-in-1 or 2-for-1.
Yeah, the way it's kind of turned out now is at our house in Saskatoon, in the basement, all my hockey goalie masks, and then at the cabin at the lake is what we call the creepy room, and that's where the creepy dolls are. And actually, to this day, we've been in the cabin 5 years now, and there's actually only been one person that's actually spent a night in that bedroom, and
they've
Mike.
never.
That's
that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he was the only one that could stand it.
Wow, it's when you go into that room, it's kind of ominous, because every direction there's a different eye looking at you, right?
No kidding.
It doesn't matter where you are in the room, there's a doll or some kind of a creepy character that's got his eyes on you, right?
Well,
So
over the years, when you talk about collected creepy, a lot of people are creeped out by clowns, and I know you like clowns a lot.
yeah, I love clowns. Yeah.
Yeah, they could be some of the creepiest things out there, are clowns. I don't know what it is. People just a lot of people are afraid of clowns. I don't know. I'm not personally. I always like them, but I just collect them because of their same reason I would collect a goat skull, which we have on the table in front of us, just because it's got that badass kind of look, to it. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
also,
and
Jeff-
I'm the same way too. Some of these clowns I've got, they're wind up, and you can wind them up and they'll slowly move. The head will turn slowly or something like that. But I've got a daughter, 10 years old, and she's had friends come over to the cabin, and they go and they're gonna poke their head. Well, you want to look into the creepy room? Well, there's been kids that have been scarred for life. They don't. So you look in there, and then you happen to mention to the parents, it's time to get ready for bed, and mom and dad say, well, where are we sleeping, sort of thing, and well, we've got the creepy room, or we've got the fold out couch. So everybody picks the fold out couch. So.
That's awesome. And you guys, sorry, I was just try to interrupt me, but you guys actually actively all call it the creepy room. So it's not like just your own private name. So when people come there and they hear it's the creepy room, like it's titled as thus. Yeah.
Do you find, Jeff, that because of the creepiness of the stuff, that you end up getting good deals? Or let's just say you go into the thrift store and there's some creepy item, because I know you do a lot of thrift store buying. Yeah. And do you find that you get all the creepy items because other people just look at them and they go, no?
You know what? It's funny you should say that, because pre-COVID, absolutely. Like I, work a 9-to-5 job sort of thing, and every day, Monday to Friday, 12 o'clock noon, I head to the thrift store. Some people go work out in the gym. Some people go for a walk. Some people read a book. I go to the thrift store. So pre-COVID, there was me and Mrs. Smith in there. That was it. Nobody else in the thrift store. So I was getting all these different items, and it was easy picking sort of thing. All of a sudden, COVID comes along. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's traveling. And Jeff's fighting for every last clown that there is. But every last person. I had walked into the thrift store one day, and I see this nun standing there. Well, not a real nun, but a nun doll. And I had never seen a nun doll, like, ever. And I made eye contact with the doll sitting on the cupboard, and I literally ran to this thing because I was so surprised it was still there. Like, who wouldn't want
a nun doll?
Like,
Meanwhile, they're all saying prayers and thanking the Lord that you took it out of there before they got hexed or something like that. Well, who would have thunk it? The COVID definitely changed the landscape of collecting in a lot of ways. We've talked about, everybody brings up COVID and how it changed things. So who would have thunk that it put restrictions, toilet paper people couldn't get, and then the ship stuck in the Suez Canal. There's all sorts of grocery items we can't get. But it also hurt the creepy industry.
Market, yeah.
Yeah, now everybody's got nothing to do. They're out looking for creepy stuff. So you're not the only one. Apparently you started almost like a fad out there or something.
So Jeff, I know this because you're my brother, that you're kind of restricted with the creepy stuff to the one room at the house, right? Tara, your lovely wife Tara, who is very patient, let's just say. Is there something that Tara said, no, there's no way, never going to happen, besides that chromed out Hummer that we wanted to buy that time? But is there,
exactly.
Is there anything that she said no?
I'll tell you this. I love creepy stuff, and I guess there could be a bit of a discussion on whether you think taxidermy is creepy. I have a fetish for taxidermy as well. I consider some of it creepy.
Some of it could be very creepy. I'll concur. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. So going back, when we first built the cabin in 2015, Tara came to me and said, which I was totally surprised at, because I never thought she would allow an animal inside the house. But she said, my Auntie Phyllis called and asked if you would like to have Grandpa's moose horns in the cabin. Well,
that's not such a big deal. Beautiful
set of moose horns from 1970 or whatever it was, like just massive. And I've got pictures that I can show you guys, and I was just dumbfounded. Like, well, of course, what guy wouldn't want massive moose horns in his basement sort of thing?
Yeah.
So after that, she kind of loosened up on the taxidermy. So here we come to 2018, and I've got a buddy at work who's an avid hunter, goes all over the world hunting, goes to Africa, all over the world, and sends home taxidermy steady sort of thing. So chatting with him one day, and he said, Jeff, he goes, I'm kind of at the point where I'm getting rid of some of stuff that I haven't shot. He goes, so if I haven't shot it and mounted it, I don't want it, sort of thing. I only want the stuff that I've shot. So he had an animal called a muskox.
I remember the muskox. I was going to ask if this was the muskox.
Yeah,
and there was, sorry to interrupt, but to shorten the story, I think Mike told me there was some sort of disdain in the marital bliss from the wife about having the muskox.
Yes. So I showed Tara a picture of the muskox, and I said, guy at work wants to unload this muskox, and this would be like the holy grail to me, sort of thing. If I had this muskox, I would be complete. I've got a son, I've got a daughter, I've got a beautiful wife. If I can have a muskox,
you could die a happy man. Your life is complete. So, I like it.
Mentioned it to Tara, and she shrugged her shoulders and said, "Are you kidding me?" And so I kind of forgot about it. My birthday 2 years ago, I walk into work one day, walk into my office, turn the light on, and there's the muskox draped over my desk.
Wow.
Yeah, so she had contacted the guy at work and made a deal with him to purchase this.
Well,
what a wonderful woman.
That's a lovely story, obviously about a wonderful woman. Yes.
You found your partner when she buys you a muskox, right?
Very true.
Absolutely.
Very true. So taxidermy, Halloween stuff, clowns. The creepier, the better. You will buy it and put it in the creepy room if you can.
Jeff, what do you think is your creepiest item you have?
It's probably a toss-up between the real fur monkey. If you can see him just over my shoulder, he's a monkey. See if I can grab him here.
Well, for the people that are listening in too, describe him.
So this guy is. Remember the movie, I guess, Every Which Way But Loose?
Yeah, he totally looks like Clyde.
Okay, so to me, that's this fella here. He's dressed in black leather shorts. I didn't know they made a black short, but he's in black shorts.
Well,
He's in a black vest that says "Ride Hard, Live Free" on his vest.
nice.
And he basically, when you touch him, he's got what feels like real skin and fur.
Can you hold it up just right about where you're right in front of your face for a sec? I have seen these things. I have seen these things advertised for sale, and they are realistic looking little primates.
Yeah.
They're crazy
like
looking.
his eyes,
He looks
and his-
familiar.
everything is just amazing.
Do you seem to
He's out
remember
of this
something
world.
about that?
So realistic.
Oh, that's cool. That's a pretty creepy thing right there.
Yeah.
If you walked into a room and turned on the light and that was sitting on a chair looking at you, you'd do a double take and go, "What the heck?" Because that thing looks
Yeah.
real. That looks totally real.
Yeah, so he'd be in my top 3 for sure for creepiness.
He's just lovely. If you ever want to part ways, I would give him a loving home.
He's a beauty. He's a beauty.
Well, in the interest of time, I think we probably have to wrap it up. Any last questions for your brother while you got him on long distance? Free long distance from Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Hey, looking forward to my next visit out to the cabin where I can have a good night's sleep in the creepy room.
He has volunteered. He's going to be sleeping in the creeper room next time.
Yeah, no, sounds good. You've cemented your place in history as the only person to ever sleep in the room, and we'll have the sheets ready for you again.
Awesome.
All right.
And I'll be down the road at the Motel 6.
Jeff, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, awesome
Appreciate
having you,
it.
buddy. Really appreciate you doing this. Jeff Bloski, everybody. Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
Take care.
Okay, we'll be right back after a short break. Thanks, guys. And welcome back to the Collector's Cast, everyone. That was our special guest, Jeff Bloski, brother of Mike Bloski, with the creepy stuff, and he's a creepy kind of guy. So there you go.
Yeah, he's got some real interesting items. And thing is, like he said, if you go in that room of his, he's got a lot of dolls, and those dolls are like.
Well, as a picker
Weird.
and a dealer of oddities and antiquities myself, how many times over the years have I brought something home and you sent a picture to Jeff and you go, okay, he's buying that.
Oh yeah.
And I could personally remember clowns. I remember a Ronald McDonald clock I think he got.
Hey, I took a taxidermied bear head
The bear.
all the way to Saskatchewan
It was
for him.
people might remember it was a bear head mounted with a couple paws sticking out so it could hold a rifle.
Yeah.
And we had a Red Ryder Daisy BB gun in his claws, in his
Yes.
grasp. And Cub saw the whole production. I want it all. I want the bear. I want the gun. Send her out.
I think his idea was he was trying to get Tara to allow him to put it over top of the marital bed, but I don't think that went over.
Nor did the muskox as a blanket.
No.
Okay, well, you know what? Having said that, Jeff was a fantastic guest. I want to thank him again for coming on. Now, as we wind the show down a little bit here, though, we do like to do our trivia. And because we were talking creepy, and because Jeff and I are both such big fans of clowns, I'm going to ask you this trivia question, Michael. When is the earliest known clown from?
Ooh.
It's kind of a double answer. I'll tell you. There's two different answers. Because the earliest clowns came in at a different time than the earliest known circus clown.
Circus. I was going to say it came with the circus.
Okay, so when do you think? What year? Thinking back to circus.
1875.
You're starting with the right number. Go back 70 years to 1805 when a guy called Joseph Grimaldi was the first known person to appear as a circus clown. And his character's name was Joey, and he did all the early clown stuff, the pratfalls and the physical humor, and that's kind of what a lot of the other circus clowns based their thing. And you know, clowns, it's a serious, you talk clowns, no clowning around when it comes to those guys that actually do the craft or the trade, because they've got their own makeup. It is all different. And each guy's makeup is kind of like his trademark, and you don't copy and you don't
mess around.
No, you don't mess with clowns. You don't mess around with clowns. Maybe that's why Jeff likes them so much. So that was the first part of the answer, was 1805. But I've got a little tidbit here that it says that the most ancient clowns have been found in the 5th dynasty of Egypt around 2400 BC. but these were a little bit different because they were traditionally served as they call it social, religious, and psychological roles. So I guess you're
There you have it.
Yeah, they were traditionally connected to priests. So priests and clowns all in the same wrapper. I don't. There's got to be a joke there somewhere that we're not going to make today.
Let's just leave it at that.
In the interest of keeping our relations with the church in good standing, let's just move on from that.
Let's move on to our
new big feature we do. Show us your stuff.
Show us your stuff. And we're going to show stuff from a guy, a repeat stuff shower.
We've only done one Show Us Your Stuff episode, and I remember it was your good pal Wes Rudy from Saskatchewan sent us and in theme, we had Jeff from Saskatchewan, so let's stay with Saskatchewan. And let's put this picture up here. Oh, it's a couple of gas pumps.
Yeah.
Couple Shell-style gas pumps.
Wes Rudy had also sent me this cool picture of the gas pumps that he had acquired. And then it's interesting, though, when you look in the background of this picture.
Corvette and a T-Bird.
And a whole bunch of other
interesting. And his last picture was of 3 completely different cars from his car collection. So,
and we haven't even talked about his motorcycles yet.
Jeez. Well, maybe next episode we'll have somebody else's picture up, just to mix it up a little bit, so it's not the Wes Rudy Show Us Your Stuff show.
Wes, thanks for sending me those pictures. Very much.
And I will say about that style of gas pumps, those aren't the real old see-through visible pumps like the May West they call them, the big tall skinny ones, are worth $8,000-$10,000 up. It's just crazy money for those pumps. So these style in the picture here of Wes's are a little bit later, I guess 50s, early 60s, and those could still be had kind of reasonably, but they're going up too. I saw one done up in Chevron colors the other day. I think the globe on top was aftermarket, and it was still like $3,500, $4,000.
These ones that Wes has, like my personal favorite are this style, because it's sort of how I first remembered cars and hot rods and American Graffiti and that. And
to me, they've got a nice flat surface for the artwork. For whether your theme is Shell or Esso or whoever, Texaco, they've got a nice space. Whereas the tall, skinny ones don't have as broad of a canvas, if you will, to put the colors on. So thanks again, Wes, for sending us a picture of your stuff.
And our other viewers show us your stuff.
Feedback at thecollectorscast.com. Send us suggestions, questions, queries, and show us your stuff. We want to see your stuff. Definitely send it in. So there you have it. I think we've kind of covered creepiness today.
Yes, we have.
And hey, there's a whole other episode in the bag. We've had fun doing it. I hope you've had fun partaking, everybody. I'm Clint the Collector. This is Mike Bloski. This has been the Collector's Cast. You've been wonderful. Have a good evening.
Take care. See you soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.